Welcome back to the second session on moments of inertia. Last time we looked at the definition of moment of inertia, the radius of gyration, and also we looked at the parallel and perpendicular axis theorems. Now we will look at applying these ideas to find the moment of inertia of certain regular solids, regular bodies. So let me start sharing the screen. I think I'll remove the video. I can just go on sharing the screen and speaking. That will reduce the, as usual, the video size, which we usually tend to prefer. So, yes, we are ready. So what is it that we want to do? We want to look at the, or rather calculate the moments of inertia in certain cases with certain specific bodies. To start off, we can consider the moment of inertia of a circular disk. What the disks that you have used in your laboratory, such kind of disks we can consider. To start with, we can find the moment of inertia about an axis passing through the center of the disk and perpendicular to the plane. Center of the disk perpendicular to the plane. Then we can go on to moments of inertia about the other axis. So m is the mass of the circular disk that I have taken. Radius is r. Now what we do is we consider from the center, that is an annular ring, an elementary ring whose radius is x and whose thickness, as you can see, is dx, the shaded portion, that is dx. So what happens? The area of this disk is equal to, therefore, circumference into width, therefore 2 pi x into dx. Now if I am to calculate the moment mass per unit area, then that mass per unit area is, if the mass of the body is m, area is full pi r square, where r is the radius of the disk. So this is mass per unit area for the whole disk. Therefore the mass of the element that I have chosen is m by pi r square, which is mass per unit area into area of the chosen portion, which is 2 pi x dx. Therefore 2m by r square into x dx. Pi cancel agutte illi. The moment of inertia of this portion, therefore, about the chosen axis, if we were to consider, then we have to take this entire mass 2m by r square x dx multiply by the distance from the axis, which is x square. So 2m by r square into x cube dx agutte idu. This is the moment of inertia of the whole disk about the moment of inertia of the chosen portion about the point of about an axis passing perpendicular to the plane and through the center. Therefore the entire mass of the mass or the whole disk, what about its moment of inertia? If you were to consider that, then it is simply the integral of this expression 2m by r square into x cube dx between the limits r can go to 0, r can go to a capital R. Therefore I is equal to 2m by r square integral 0 to r x cube dx, which is therefore 2m by r square into x to the power of 4 by 4. If you evaluate then x to the power of 4 by 4 between the limits 0 and r, first you will put r, therefore it will become x to the power of, instead of x to the power of 4, it becomes r to the power of 4. So simply what you are left with is 2m r squared. A 2 is there in the numerator, and 4 in the denominator. Therefore it turns out that this ultimate expression will be m r square by 2. Simple agide, idea nodkole. In each case the same idea we follow. First we take the disk, find the mass per unit area, then we choose a small element, find the mass of that element, then the moment of inertia of that element about the axis of rotation, and ultimately integrate that between the suitable limits to get the moment of inertia of the whole disk. Either you can do your math by keeping a book aside, working out straight away as you listen to my speaking. You can also go back to the lecture a second time when you listen. You can try to work it out. Better for you to work it out just than listening to me. You can repeat, you can rerun this any number of times because I'm sharing with you the recording. So I is equal to mr squared by 2 is the moment of inertia of a circular disk about an axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane. Perpendicular to the plane ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ? ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಮನ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದುಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆ ಪಾಮಿಗೆ ಪರ್ಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೀಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಪಾಮೆ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಪಾಮಿಗೆ ಪರ್ಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಿಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರ ನೀವು, ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಹೇಳುವಂತ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. Then we can go on to the moment of inertia of the same circular disk about any given diameter. Because the circular disk is symmetric, whether you take this AB as the axis or CD as the axis, the moment of inertia is same. We have already found the moment of inertia of the disk passing through O perpendicular to the plane. Therefore, compared to that axis, these two will be at right angles to it. Therefore, we can use the perpendicular axis theorem. So, how does it go? I, the moment of inertia about an axis perpendicular to the plane passing through center is given by mr squared. You may call it as 1. Now you consider any diameter AB or CD as shown in the figure. Since the diameters are symmetrical, the moment of inertia about either axis is the same. So if I1 and I2 are the moments of inertia of the disk about the two axes perpendicular to each other, then using the perpendicular axis theorem, you can say that the moment of inertia I about any axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane is I. About in two axes using the perpendicular axis theorem, the moment of inertia I about any axis passing through the center of ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಗೋಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, passing through a diameter, about a diameter, let us say, about an axis, moment of inertia I about that diameter. ಸಾಕು. Diameter is, therefore, if I call it as I is equal to I1 plus I2. Therefore, I is equal to 2I1 or I1 is equal to mr squared by 2 into half. So, mr squared by 4. So, use the perpendicular axis theorem. Then so these are the results. So then this is about an axis passing through about any diameter. Now suppose, what about moment of inertia about a tangent? If you consider moment of inertia about a tangent, then this is what you have: a circular disk, the radius r, at a point CD is the diameter, about the point at the point A, that's the tangent, xy is the tangent. So now as soon as you see, the figure tells you that you have to consider the parallel axis theorem here. So if the moment of inertia about the diameter CD is mr squared by 4, and applying the principle of the parallel axis, the moment of inertia about the tangent xy should be, if it is called as I, then it is I1 plus OA square. So, moment of inertia about the diameter plus moment of m into the distance of the parallel axis from the point, from the center of gravity of the disk. So, this distance OA. So, therefore, mr squared by plus 4 plus another mr squared leads you to 5 mr square. This is the moment of inertia of the circular disk about, sorry, so this is what it is. Okay. So this is as far as the moment of inertia of a cylinder is concerned, sorry, a circular disk is concerned. Now, you can consider as the other case the moment of inertia of an annular ring. Yeah, just. So, what do we do? Moment of inertia of an annular ring. Now, what is this annular ring? It is a thin circular disc, a very thin circular disc, or simply a plane, a much thinner plane ring, from the center of which concentrically some portion of material is removed. In other words, it is a circular disc with a concentric hole at the center. As I have shown in the second case, the second diagram, the yellow disc, you can very clearly see there is a hole whose radius is R1. Then there is material which is shaded in yellow, which has a radius R. They have also shown you the three axes about which the moments of inertia can be considered. Z-axis is the axis perpendicular to the plane passing through the center of the disc. These two are the diameters at right angles to each other. So, now what do we do? As usual, the protocol is same. So, what do? We consider an annular ring. An annular ring is nothing but an annular ring, or an annular disc is nothing but an ordinary disc having a concentric hole in it. If this is the ring, what I have shown in white and black. So, if this is the annular ring whose outer radius is R2 compared with R here, and the inner radius is R1, this is where the hole is. Then what happens? R1 and R2 are the radii of the inner and outer disc, so to speak, and therefore m is the mass of the ring. If m is the mass of the ring, then area of the ring will be area A equal to pi into R2 square minus R1 square. Therefore, the mass per unit area will be, if m is the mass of the disc, complete disc, that is the complete annular ring, it is m by pi into R2 square minus R1 square. Now what we do is, we consider another coaxial disc. The shaded portion on the diagram on the left, that is the annular disc or ring of inner radius x and outer radius x plus dx. When the inner radius is x and the outer radius is x plus dx, what happens to the area? The area becomes pi into, what happens? Pi into x plus dx. So, what happens? If you calculate, it turns out that the area of the disc becomes 2 pi x dx. The dx is the thickness. So, the mass of this annular ring, the face area, therefore is equal. Mass of this is equal to, therefore, mass per unit area m by pi r2 square minus r1 square into 2 pi x dx. That is equal to, therefore, 2m x dx divided by r2 square minus r1 square. Pi gets cancelled here as usual. The moment of inertia of this disk about the point through O, the center, and perpendicular to the plane, if you want to consider, it is 2 mx dx by r2 minus r1 square, which is the mass into distance square. If x is the radius, then it is x square. So the moment of inertia of this disk, the shaded portion, through an axis passing through O and perpendicular to the plane of the disk is 2 mx dx by r2 square minus r1 square into x square, which becomes 2 mx cube dx by r2 square minus r1 square. X multiply ಮಾಡುತ್ತಷ್ಟೇ. Therefore, the moment of inertia of the whole annular ring is obtained by integrating this expression between the limits x equals r1 and x equals r2. So 2m by r2 square minus r1 square, the constants, into integral between the limits r1 to r2 x cube dx. So that gives you x to the power of 4 by 4. If you apply the limits, if you apply the higher limit, what do you get? r2 to the power of 4. If you apply the lower limit, you get r1 to the power of 4. So r2 to the power of 4 minus r1 to the power of 4 in the numerator, r2 square minus r1 square in the denominator. Please recall a plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. So a plus b whole square into a minus b whole square should be a to the power of 4 minus b to the power of 4. Therefore, what happens? What remains in the numerator is m into r2 square plus r1 square by 2. This 2 is here along with m. X by 4 is there. So this is what you get. Ultimately, what happens? M into r2 square plus r1 square by 2. That is the moment of inertia of the annular ring. Suppose you are asked to find the moment of inertia about any diameter. Then what is it that you do? The annular ring, again, is a symmetrical structure. So the moment of inertia of this annular disk or ring about any diameter is equal to the moment of inertia about the diameter perpendicular to it. Apply the perpendicular axis theorem. If I is the moment of inertia about one diameter, then we have that I is equal to m into r square, r2 square plus r1 square by 2 ಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎರಡು ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಇರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಸೊ i1 i2 ನೀವು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಹಾಫ್ i1 ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ i. ಸೊ m ಇಂಟು r ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ r2 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ r1 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಬೈ 2 ಇದ್ದದ್ದು ಈಗ 4 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆರ್ಗ್ಯೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್ similar to the above case where we applied the perpendicular axis here. So this is about the moment of inertia of a circular disk and moment of inertia of a annular ring. Now we can go and look at the moment of inertia of a solid sphere. So solid sphere again ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? For moment of inertia of a solid sphere, what we do is we consider a section of the uniform sphere of radius r through its center O as shown in the figure. ಈ ಗುಂಡಿಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹಣ್ಣನ್ನ ನೀವು ಅಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಒನ್ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಅಡ್ಡಡ್ಡಕ್ಕೆ ಕತ್ತರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಎ ಬಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕತ್ತರಿಸಿದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಫಿಗರ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್? ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಎ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಆರ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಓ ಆಸ್ ಶೋನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಿಗರ್. Figure ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. Let AB be the diameter about which the moment of inertia is to be found. Consider a thin circular slice of thickness dx at a distance x from the center when the radius of such a slice is ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? radius of such a slice ಈಗ ನೀವು ಅಡ್ಡಡ್ಡಕ್ಕೆ ಕತ್ತರಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಕತ್ತರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಲೈಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಈ ಈಗೂ ಸಿಗೂ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ತುಂಬ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಇದು y ಆಯಿತು. ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟರ್ O ಇದು x ಆಯಿತು. ದೇರ್ಫಾರ್ ಇಫ್ ದಿ ಫೈನಲ್ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ ಈಸ್ r and if this is x, therefore what ಇದನ್ನ y ನ ನಾನು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ r ಅಂತಲೇ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ಈ ಥೀಟಾ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು pi ಇಂಟು r ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ x ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ y. ಸೊ ದ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಲೈಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ pi ಇಂಟು r ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ x ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಯಿತು ಇಂಟು dx ದ ಥಿಕ್ನೆಸ್, ದಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ದ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಲೈಸ್. So if m is the mass per unit volume of this sphere, then the mass of this slice m1 is given by mass per unit length m into volume. So pi r square minus x square dx. So moment of inertia of this slice, what you see here ECFD about AB is half m m1 y1 square. M1 is the mass of this portion we calculated. Y is almost equal to the diameter. Irli. So m1 y square anta tagondre ನಾವು half m1 y square ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ half m pi into r2 minus r square minus x square dx into perpendicular distance ಏನು perpendicular distance ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹುಡುಕೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಅದು y ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಇದು ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ನು, ಇದು ಡಯಾಮೀಟರು. ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ನೀವು ಉರುಳಿಸ್ತೀರಾ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಂತ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ರೊಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಉರುಳಿಸ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತು. ಉರುಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಪಲ್ಟಿ ಹೊಡೆಯುತ್ತಿದ್ದು. ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಪಲ್ಟಿ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ ಆ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಟ್ tilts ಆರ್ ರೊಟೇಟ್ಸ್ is r square minus x square. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನರ್ಷಿಯಾ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಹಾಫ್ m1 y ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಅಂದಾಗ ಹಾಫ್ m pi ಇಂಟು r2 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ r ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ x ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಎರಡು ಸಲ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ r to the power of 4 r ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ x ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ if you consider all such, this entire cylinder sphere can be made up of or imagined to be made up of a large number of slices that we can take. Therefore, if you want the moment of inertia of the entire solid about the entire sphere about the axis passing through diameter or simply about the diameter will be simply I is equal to ಒಂದು ಹಾಫ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಎರಡನೇ ಹಾಫ್ಗೂ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. I is equal to 2 into integral 0 to r half of this expression above. So what do you get? You get m pi into integral 0 to r. If you expand r to the power of 4 minus ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಇದು ಪ್ಲಸ್, ಇದು plus x to the power of 4 minus 2 r square x square dx ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇದು ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ. So if you calculate, this is r to the power of 4 minus x plus x to the power of 4 minus 2r square x square. So if you integrate now, what happens? This becomes xr to the power of 4. This becomes x to the power of 4 ಇದ್ದದ್ದು x to the power of 5/5 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು minus 2r square into integral x square ಇದೆ x cube by 3 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ r ಅನ್ನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು this turns out to be 8m pi r to the power of 5 by 15. ಈ m ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಫಿಯರ್. ಇದು ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ, 4/3 pi r ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮಾಸ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು 4/3 pi r ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ m ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ವೆರ್ m is the mass per unit length, mass per unit volume, then what happens? It turns out that the moment of inertia m will reduce to 2/5 into mr square. where r is the distance of the slice from the distance of the diameter ಇದು diameter. ಇದು through center passing through O. Again, because it's a sphere, this length is equal to this length. So how do you what do you get therefore? Ultimately you get 2 by 5 mr squared, where m is the total mass of the sphere. Now what happens? If I now look at moment of inertia about a tangent. If you want moment of inertia about a tangent, what happens? Previous case, you imagine a tangent drawn at A or at B. It will be at a distance r from the center O of the disk, from where its mass will act. Therefore, according to the parallel axis theorem, it will be the original moment of inertia 2 by 5 mr square plus another mr square. So ultimately, it will become 7 by 2 mr square. So this is about the moment of inertia, calculating the moment of inertia of a cylinder, of an annular ring, and a solid sphere. Next, we can consider in the coming session moment of inertia about a solid cylinder. There we deduce the moment of inertia of a thin rod, and then we go for angular momentum conservation, and illustrations of angular momentum conservation. For now, we can stop here.